Welcome to the Introduction to Microsoft Excel Worksheet Features, Part 3 of 7 parts, presented by the Fruitland Park Library, narrated by Gloria. Video includes worksheet, symbols used for mathematical formulas, AutoSum. In order to work along with this tutorial, it may be necessary for you to have two open windows side by side. It does not matter if one window is a website and the other is an application or program. The steps of maximizing or restoring down a window is the same for both. We will be using the website YouTube and Notepad as examples. The opening slides will suggest different methods. Please see slides 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 before continuing with the tutorial. In the upper right corner, there is a Maximize Restore Down button. Restore Down reduces the window to half its size, as you see below. Maximize or Restore Down button becomes a single square. When the window is maximized, it fills the entire screen, and the button is a double square. You can adjust the width and the height by hovering the cursor on the right, left, top, or bottom edge of the window. The cursor will change from the normal arrow to an arrow with points at each end. You can then resize the window. Arrows are shown in red and blue for better visibility. Arrows will be white on the screen. You can move the window to a new location on the screen by placing the cursor near the top blue arrow and holding down the left mouse button. Then drag it to the new location and release the mouse button. If you do not have Microsoft Word on your computer and you are using Windows operating system, you can use Notepad to open two windows side by side. Click on the Windows icon in the lower left corner. Scroll down to Windows Accessories and click. A drop-down menu will open. Click on Notepad. Notepad size can be adjusted just like Word using the same steps. You can also save, open, print, copy, paste, and more using Notepad. After adjusting the first window, open a second window and repeat the steps. As you can see, the second window overlapped the first. Place your cursor near the top of the second window. Cursor should be a white arrow. Hold down the left mouse button and drag the second window off of the first window. The two windows will be side by side, allowing you to follow the instructions in the video. However, using this method will require you at times to use the right side and bottom scroll sliders. A second method is to use the Minimize button, which will drop a window down to the taskbar. Click on it to open it up. Using this method does require you to switch back and forth between the two windows. Just pause the video, minimize the window, and open up the other window. The last suggestion is to take your laptop or smartphone to a library and use one of the library computers. Open the tutorial on the computer or smartphone and use the other to follow along with the tutorial. Please click on your Excel icon and select Blank Workbook. Worksheet. A worksheet organizes text, numbers, and mathematical formulas. Steps for creating a worksheet. 1. State your objective. An example is, will I use this worksheet for a monthly budget for a home or a business? 2. Add labels. Labels should describe what information you will be entering into each column. 3. Add numbers. 4. Add formulas if needed. 5. Format your worksheet. Optional. At the bottom of the worksheet, you will see Sheet 1. Since we have yet to name the worksheet, Excel gives the worksheet a number. To the right of the words Sheet 1 is a plus sign. Click the plus sign. Clicking the plus sign opens a blank worksheet. Note, if you click on the plus sign and nothing happens, check to see that your cursor is on an empty cell. You should now have two worksheets, Sheet 1 and Sheet 2. We will be working on Sheet 2. Toggle between the worksheets if needed by clicking on the name of the worksheet. In this case, you would be clicking on Sheet 1 or Sheet 2 since we have not named our worksheets yet. Right-click on the sheet number and you can delete, rename, add, color to the tab, and several other options. Please click on the plus sign to open a second worksheet if you haven't already. Please right-click on sheet 1 and then click delete. Text is always left aligned. Numbers are always right aligned and can only include 0 through 9 or any of the following characters: $sign, percentage sign, parentheses, comma, period, minus sign, plus sign. In column A, type in numbers and text in a few cells to see the alignment. Text on the left, numbers on the right. Excel does not perform any mathematical operations on text. Excel will only accept two kinds of data. Constant is a value that never changes unless changed by a human. There are two kinds of data, numbers and text. Example, the date 4-01-2020 is a constant. The number 350 is a constant. The text quarterly earnings is a constant. None of these examples will change unless we change them. Formulas always begin with an equal sign. Formulas can contain mixtures of numbers and cell addresses. If you forget the equal sign, Excel will not calculate the answer for you. Excel does not use the letter X for multiplication because it uses the X to represent a column. Excel uses the asterisk. Say you want to know how many minutes in a 24-hour day. Your formula would be equals 60 asterisk 24, 60 minutes times 24 hours. Enter the formula in a cell or in formula bar. Click off of the cell and the answer will be displayed, 1440. To see the formula again, click on the cell that contains the answer and the formula will appear in the formula bar. Please click on cell A1 to select it, then click backspace to delete the data. Your worksheet should now be blank, no data. We are going to calculate income next. Please pause the video while you are entering the data shown below on your worksheet. Resume video when ready. Remember, all formulas begin with an equal sign, and the symbol for multiplication is an asterisk. The beauty of using a program like Excel is that you don't have to keep retyping the formulas when the amounts of the quantity sold, sale price, or the unit cost changes. This is why we will be using cell addresses in our formulas instead of numbers. Numbers change, but cell addresses do not. By writing a formula using cell addresses, we are telling Excel where to look for the data regardless of how often the data changes. We are going to calculate how much income was made from the sale of our chips. We are going to multiply quantity sold, 230, by the sales price, $3.99. In cell E2, enter equals B2 asterisk C2. Tip: formulas are not case sensitive. Press the enter key after typing the formula and the answer appears. Your worksheet should now look like this. We could keep typing in a formula after formula, but let's shortcut it. Remember autofill and the copy handler? Your mouse will turn into a small black cross. 1. Click on cell E2 to select it. Place your cursor on the copy handler of cell 2. When the cursor turns into a black cross, hold down the left mouse button and drag downward to cell E7 and release. Excel has now autofilled the remaining cells in column E. Click off of the column and the highlight will disappear. Select cell F2 and type equals B2 asterisk D2. Quantity sold times unit cost. click Enter key. 1. Click on cell F2 to select it. Place your cursor on the copy handler of cell F2. When the cursor turns into a black cross, hold down the left mouse button and drag downward to cell F7 and release. Select cell G2 and type equals E2 minus F2. Press Enter. Click G2 to select it. Place your mouse on the copy handler. Hold down the left mouse button and drag downward to cell G7 and release. We were able to do this because this formula is a relative reference. A relative reference changes when it is copied or moved to another cell. As you can see, it is very time-consuming to enter numerous formulas. What if you had 50 different kinds of snacks? Using the cell relative reference, the formulas were a breeze. Excel has also added a very handy tool called the Sum button. Remember, it's located on the Home tab in the Editing group. It may also be called AutoSum. Looks like a Greek letter or an M turned on its side. AutoSum is a function that inserts a formula, and the formula adds all the numbers in the column above. Let's try it. Please type in totals in the cell A8. Cell B8. Click on the Sum button once. A formula is inserted into the cell. If you accept the formula, click the Sum button a second time. The Sum button calculates the value for you, and you never had to write a formula. When reading a sum formula example, equals sum B2 colon B7, substitute the word through for colon to understand what the formula does. Add B2 through B7. Please move to cells E8, F8, and G8 and use the sum to calculate the totals. Save your work. Your worksheet should look like this. We're going to save your worksheet. Click File in the upper left corner. Scroll down and click Save As. Click Computer to save it to the computer you're working on. Select a location to save the worksheet to. Most people save either to desktop or to documents. For the purposes of this tutorial, please save it to your desktop by clicking on the desktop. The Save As dialog box opens. Click Desktop again and name this worksheet Part 3. Notice the Book 1.xlsx in the File Name box. Excel will assign a generic name to the worksheet unless you rename it. Click Save. The next time you open Excel, under Recent, you will see the Part 3 desktop. Click on it to open it. This concludes Microsoft Excel Worksheet Features Part 3 of 7 parts. Thank you for joining us for Part 3. We hope you enjoyed the tutorial and will be joining us for Parts 4 through 7 of Microsoft Excel. If you have any questions or would like a transcript of this video, please contact me at gterry@mylakelibrary.org or call 352-360-6561.